Jeff. The first time, he faces a 9-7 Bucs team with Jeff Garcia, a real NFL quarterback on a 9-7 team, beats him on the road. Goes to Dallas, beats Tony Romo in his prime on a 13-3 team on the road. This isn't Heineke and a 7-9 team. This isn't the end of Drew Brees. This is Romo in his prime on a 13-win team. He then goes to Lambeau and beats Brett Favre on the road, and then Tom Brady in his greatest season with Randy Moss, 50 touchdowns, with Randy Moss, undefeated, about to be crowned the greatest team in sports history, better than any Yankees team, better than the Jordan Bulls, and Eli beats that team and wins MVP. And then, Jeff, he did it again in 2011. The same thing. He beat Alex Smith on a 49ers team that was a devastating defensive team, 13-win team. He beat Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau, 15-1 that year, and then beat Brady again in the Super Bowl. Both runs by Eli were more on an inferior team compared to this Bucs team. Didn't get to host the Super Bowl. Beat Brady twice, who's the GOAT, right, in his prime. Those are the two best Super Bowl runs ever. Then this run by Brady.
I like how you tried to sugar me in with this, Max. You tried to bring a Manning in. Not my Manning, but you brought a Manning in, which I appreciate. You know what I mean? I give you some points. I like the style. You know what I mean? But I can't. I'm gonna stick with Brady right here now, and which is hard for me to do. You know this is difficult for me to do, but I will say, and the reason I said this is because the way that historians, guys like yourself, will frame this is he went on the road. He beat, to your point, he beat a poor quarterback, but a very good front seven in Washington in the playoffs. Then he goes and beats Breeze, the team that had beat them twice during the season, beats them at home against another exceptionally good defense and the New Orleans Saints. Then he goes to the MVP's house and beats Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay in Green Bay, and then caps it off with the baby GOAT. That's your name, not mine. You know I don't do the baby GOAT nonsense. But the guys that everybody's already crowning to be the next GOAT, and that's what you call them, and he beats them, I mean, handily. And so when we start passing out these things, it seems like they always frame it in quarterback language. So I'm giving it to you in your language. Okay. How I look at the games is completely different. I think Todd Bowles, MVP, held Mahomes to 9 points. That's pretty spectacular. Every one of Brady's championships has been a top 10 defensive football team. This is no different. But I don't look at it any different. I think Eli had some really good teams. They got hot. It looked good. We give all the credit to quarterbacks. So when you go on the road and beat Breeze, you beat Brady, you beat Mahomes and Rodgers,
well,
all
let's look
two
at
NFL MVPs, and that run, that's pretty spectacular.
But let's look at it. Let's look at it. First of all, the Bucs were firing on all cylinders. They had an elite offensive line this year, top 5 in the league. They had an elite defense, and they were facing a line with 3 starters missing, including both tackles. Okay, so Todd Bowles is a genius. He didn't bring the pressure. They blitzed under 10% of the time. They got pressure on dropbacks over 50% of the time. Why would he send anyone? What that means is you're always on the run for your life, and also no one's ever open, right? But Tom Brady through this plus extraordinary. You're right. But let's really match it up. You know, Eli beat a 10-win Matt Ryan team on one of the runs, followed by a 13-win defensive juggernaut in San Francisco with Alex Smith as the quarterback, followed by Aaron Rodgers, who was 15-1, not 13-3 this year.
Max, that
15-1, followed by Tom Brady himself. Guys, that was that was the second run.
You put
both times.
You put Romo, Alex Smith. You put all these guys in the same category. You just said, just say the names.
Okay,
Matt.
let's do it. Hold on.
Breeze, Rodgers.
Let's do 07.
Okay,
let's
Breeze,
do 07.
No. Just say the names.
No,
just wait.
Jeff.
Just humor me
Jeff
here.
Go.
No. But this is Jeff.
Breeze,
This is
Rodgers, Mahomes. I mean, like Romo.
Okay,
Alex
this is
Smith,
where
I don't care what the team is. I don't care. Let's just lay it out.
That's 2 different years.
We can't put those guys in the same category.
Don't get it twisted. This is 2 different years we're talking about because Eli did it twice better than Brady just did it. One at a time. Jeff Garcia over Heineke. We both agree. If you're looking, see, in the boxing world, Jeff, I know all about this. People try to get you shiny names on your resume. You got to know when they fought. So the bottom line is Romo for the 13-3 Cowboys was a better quarterback that year than Breeze for this Saints team. I think everyone would agree. That Romo was better than this Breeze. And then that Favre at Lambeau was a stud on an excellent team. And then what caps it all off, Jeff, what really outweighs it, Mahomes is great. His line wasn't there. Like he had no offensive line. Brady was on the greatest team of all time. It was in his prime, having his greatest season that Eli beat. But that's just one of the runs. The other run is with Alex Smith on that Niners team. That was an excellent team. Matt Ryan on a 10-win Falcons team. Aaron Rodgers on a better team than he was on this year, 15 wins, and then Brady again. Who's the GOAT, right? Isn't Brady the GOAT? Not the baby GOAT, but the GOAT. And he was in his prime back then, Jeff.
Well, I mean, it all depends on how you're framing it. But I like. But I'm just telling you the way that when you talk about the 3 that he goes on the road to beat and the way that he beat them, you can say whatever you want about Breeze. People were expecting them to win that game, right? I'm not sure Tampa was favored in any of those games. I'm not sure. I know they weren't favored against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I wouldn't think they would have been favored against the Saints after losing twice. But for them to come back and show what they did and play the way they played, you got to give them a ton of credit. And listen, part of the game comes into, can you elevate the guys around you? When they took it to Kansas City, I mean, you've heard guys say, he looked at Fournette and said, listen, this team doesn't want to tackle. Go run nasty, go play physical, and watch us win this game. It's those type of things to get his team on the run. He took a 7-9 team and made him a Super Bowl champion. I agree. I did say they were going to do that, and I picked him.
7-9
he beat some really good QBs.
Eli's team only had 9 wins. Hold on a second. Two things. One, you want to check the odds for the Patriots-Giants Super Bowl when Brady was undefeated with 50 touchdowns that year? Because that's who Eli beat. One of the most famous plays in football history was the pass to Tyree. But the pass to Manningham, the second time he beat Brady, was even a better play. And let me just say this. You said he went on the road to beat those 3 teams. Heineke and the 7-9 Washington team, give me a break. I mean, they had a good defense, but they're in the playoffs. Give me a break. He was not at home on the road at the Super Bowl. Brady had a home game in the Super Bowl. He had a home game against the Chiefs team that should have been underdogs given the condition of their offensive line. They should have been, Jeff.
Max, you're a beautiful mind.
Look, they didn't have either tackle.
Listen, I said it. It was all you guys who said that Mahomes is going to be a hero and can overcome all odds and drop back 15 yards and do all these things. I clearly told you the game is won in the trenches every time. I don't care what it looks like. All the shiny guys on the outside, it takes those front 5, the big uglies matter. That's what wins games. It's you guys who keep trying to tell me and persuade me about quarterbacks. I'm just helping you out, Max.
Once upon a time, there was a goat, a baby goat, a honey badger, and a delusional television host with the initials MK.